You are welcome to another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Whoever saw attorney Michael Avenatti hunting down R. Kelly and calling him a criminal only a few years back may find it hard to believe that it is the same man currently in prison and not about to see the light of day. At least not in the next few years. There are so many people among those who were involved in the R. Kelly witch hunt that have turned out to be either hardcore criminals, or that have simply been involved in activities that break and demean the U.S. law. The actions of some government prosecutors themselves are causing worry to society as to whether the government can even be trusted anymore. But when it comes to Michael Avenatti's story, it becomes very hard to even relate that the now convicted hardcore criminal involved in multiple fraud cases was the saint that witch hunted and attacked the R&B king, calling him all sorts of names, and declaring how Kelly was going to spend the rest of his life in prison, something that is highly unlikely for the innocent man he is. Fraudster Michael Avenatti became even more famous when he represented 3 of the women who recently accused R. Kelly, and his name hit the roof when at a press conference, he alleged he had several tapes that would be used to incriminate R. Kelly. Tapes whose authenticity continues to be questionable to date. According to Michael Avenatti, he had received so much tape evidence against R. Kelly, enough to send him off to life in prison and never to be free again. He among all people made sure to make some of the obscenest descriptions of what he allegedly saw on the said tapes as a way to contempt R. Kelly's reputation, while he acted a saint himself and thought the world would buy his story. As if that was not enough, the now convicted notorious fraudster also tried to portray R. Kelly as a perpetrator of fraud when he stated that the R&B star bought his acquittal back in 2008, as though to suggest the trial was not carried out by the United States Honorable Court back then, which he now expected to get a fair trial from. Avenatti, just like many of the people who have been hunting down R. Kelly, turned out to be a wolf in sheep's clothing when his own cases started brewing trouble even a lot earlier than R. Kelly went to trial. Allegations at that time suggested that the fraudulent attorney had been involved in a bold attempt to defraud the giant corporation Nike, which he was blackmailing with unfounded threats, and demanding that he be paid a sum of $25 million hush money for him to drop the charges and move on to terrorizing his next victim. To the benefit of society, Nike proved not to be an easy target and decided to fight back with a lawsuit that saw Avenatti's even deeper secrets revealed. Like that, we were able to learn that it had been his culture and way of life to go around extorting his own clients, and stealing what belongs to them for his own selfish gain. News surfaced suggesting Avenatti had defrauded a woman and former adult movie star Stormy Daniels, who she represented in a case against Donald Trump, and when the time for her to receive restitutions came, Avenatti made sure to divert the funds to accounts he controlled and repeatedly gave silly excuses to Daniels, claiming that transfers had not been made yet. The case against R. Kelly had revealed so much about those against him, but Avenatti's involvement made the arrangement even clearer. With the Stormy Daniels matter in the public domain, numerous complainants began to surface, and soon it was clear what he was trying to achieve from the case against R. Kelly. The pattern of his numerous cases shows that the now fallen lawyer targeted men of influence with big bank accounts, along with vulnerable elderly persons who had millions on their bank accounts. And together with their accusers forged cases against them in a way to blackmail them and have them opt to settle out of court, under the disguise that he had gathered so much evidence against them enough to ruin their reputations. And then he would go on to steal this money from his clients to enrich his lavish lifestyle characterized by private jets and mansions. No wonder he was seriously hitchhiking and found his way onto the R. Kelly case. Michael Avenatti's involvement on the case against R. Kelly only serves to further expose what kind of games were being played by the government and the accusers' attorneys. These two teams were only in it to exploit these women for selfish monetary gain, and indeed when the job was done, Kim Foxx saw no need to continue with the Chicago state charges. After all, it did not really matter anymore to government and the women's lawyers whether anyone found justice, for as long as they had R. Kelly in a tight corner and he was already forced to pay restitutions, these people could easily be whisked away the same way as Avenatti always did his own clients. It has over time become evident that the government and the likes of Michael Avenatti were always in this for all the wrong reasons. Thank God they are beginning to pay for their sins one by one. Avenatti, who after being cornered by his multiple victims later on confessed to his crimes and is now in prison and serving a 14-year sentence, with little or no hope to get out until then, considering he confessed to a deal, will likely stay in prison longer than R. Kelly, who he criticized a great deal. If anyone saw him talk about Robert, one would think he is an angel sent from heaven above. Little did we know that he was instead a notorious fraudster capable of doing this to his own clients. According to Mimi Williams, like I have always said, it's a mistake to go laying landmines in an open field forgetting you may have to cross the very same area later. This is called karma. It is important to remember that your light won't shine any brighter by blowing out other people's candles. His involvement on the case surely does expose what kind of allies the government works with. And if they must regain their face value, they ought to go after the likes of Lisa Van Allen and everyone they have dealt with that may have criminal tendencies. However much it would be nice to see these people who made R. Kelly's life hard pay, I am not sure he will have the time to get back at them, as he will be busy releasing great music like he has always done. According to Tunga, it's difficult to understand why these people have been after R. Kelly like it means the world to them his being in prison. With the criminal Michael Avenatti turned out to be, there is a possibility he knew who he was and what was coming next, and saw R. Kelly's case as a way of distracting his accusers from himself, or even acting relevant in society. If people have been chasing after R. Kelly in search for relevance, then the situation is really bad and needs to be corrected as soon as possible. In fact, Kim Fox may also be using this as an opportunity to play a victim and reap public sympathy. They should try rehabilitation and leave R. Kelly alone. They will all have their day, including Kim Fox, and that's when they will learn never to mess with the anointed of God. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.